Hi, kids!
Well, that was a lot louder. That was a lot louder this time than the past few. Good God.
Season 7, and you are still not ready for the Hi Kids. Every time it catches you off guard, Tom.
I was ready. It was just so much louder than I thought it was going to be.
I'm excited to be back. You can't blame
so am I.
me.
Season 7, but God, my poor little ear holes. My poor little ear holes.
I'm
fully
not sorry.
damaged.
I'm not sorry for your little ear holes. You should know by now, guys. Season 7, you know what's coming. If you find it too invasive, then turn your headphones down.
Nice. Just skip the first 10 seconds, but stay listening to the podcast.
Exactly that. But anyway, how are you doing, Tom? How is life?
Life's good. Life's good. We've got summer sun at the moment. This weather has been all over the place. Sometimes it's summer sun. Sometimes it's rainy rain. I had nothing for the rain. I had no alliteration for the rain.
Grey,
so
gloomy rain.
Yeah, but you can do grey and gloomy, but the rain still doesn't fit in the alliteration. So anyway, yeah, I've been enjoying it because the sun's out. You can get drinks again in outdoor places, which is lush. Big fan. Big fan. Yeah, and I think people just have a better demeanour at life at the moment because things are reopening. When it's sunny, people are happier. Just the end of the story. People are happier when the sun's out.
I'm looking at a bright blue sky in front of me, and oh my god, it literally just puts me in the best mood. When you wake up and it's like clear skies, bright, spring is on its way. It's just such a good feeling. It makes me so happy.
Like, it's still got a little bit of a cold wind, but the sun, it just makes everyone so much happier.
It does.
So much happier.
That vitamin D, I need it in my life. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
How have you been?
Yeah, I've been great. I've just finished a back-to-back 8-day working week. It's long. And I've had a lie-in this morning, and I feel fresh as ever. So yeah, really happy to be here. Happy that we're doing season 7. Just happy to be back, guys. I missed you.
Nice. You missed the Tune Squatters.
Miss the kids, yeah.
So what did I ask?
Miss the June Squatters. I feel like for anyone that might be new here for season 7, we should explain this, because even people that have been around from the start are still like, what do you mean?
What do I mean?
Yeah.
The Tune Squad?
So I started off this podcast calling you guys kids, because this podcast is called What Adults Don't Tell You Before You Adult. And it makes sense that we are all kids here, so I refer to you guys as the kids. And then Tom, Benedict Humphrey, comes along and starts calling you guys the Tune Squatters. And I just want to know why you do that.
Why do you think I call the team the Tune Squad?
I know why you do, but for people that listen, why do you call them the Tune Squatters?
Well, because of the greatest film of all time, Space Jam. The winning team, spoiler, is called Tune Squad. And obviously I see my team as the winners, the Tune Squatters.
Right. See, now everyone understands. Now everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. Everyone wants to be a winner.
Yeah, I've got nothing against that. I just don't know.
Winning.
I'm stuck with the analogy kids. I like it.
Well, what you could do is drop the kids, come over
to the dark side.
I went to the dark side. I'd say the winning team. That's how I'd explain it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom, let's
Space
kick
Jam
off.
2's got a release date now, Anya, and I wasn't in it. I wasn't cast in Space Jam 2. I'm livid.
Cry me a river. Anyway, Tom, let's get into it, okay? Season 7, and we kick off every single episode with this little thing that we like to call I'm an Adult But, which is essentially me and Tom tell you one thing that has happened this week that wasn't very adultish of us. So we're an adult, but something happened.
Do you want me to start?
It's up to you, Tom. Do you want to go first?
I have 2 quite good ones, so I don't really know which one to lead with.
Well, only pick one. Don't spoil us now.
Well, yeah, I won't give you 2. Come on. But yeah, I've had a quite childish week this week. I know which one I'm going to choose.
Go on then.
A slightly more embarrassing one.
Good.
So,
we love that.
I am quite flamboyant with my language that I use when I'm sending texts or just with people, and I'll say like, "Oh, having japes and goofs and type of things," right?
What? Having who?
Japes and goofs. Silly times.
Okay, interesting. Language.
See, I've known Anya now for 6 years, and she still doesn't quite understand
You.
my Tomisms.
Tom.
But the issue is, I am very relaxed at work now because I've worked there for so long that I don't quite write in formal language anymore to people, which is fine. It's not a sackable offence as of yet.
Do you mean like over email or text?
Texts normally. Like if someone gives me their work number, I'll be like, oh hey pal, blah 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 blah. It'll all be very informal. It won't be like, good morning, blah blah blah. I hope you slept well. I need to know this, that, and the other. It's just like, hey pal, this, blah blah blah. And so I've become very relaxed with things. And there was a girl in the other office from where I work, and we have like screens so we can see where people are normally, which has caused me stress in the last season. Listen back to the last episode of why I can't sleep at night. But I saw this woman in our other studio, and I needed to link my studio to her studio, so I sent her a text saying, "Hey, are you still around?" Didn't reply. I was like, "Oh, that's annoying." I was like, "Oh, that's annoying." It was me. That's annoying. Never mind. Hope you have a great evening. And she goes, yeah. I said, I thought I saw you in the other studio through the camera. And she went, oh, I was. And I said, oh, you goofed me. As like, oh, you've made me look like a silly person because I saw you down there and now you're not there. So you goofed me. To which she replies, goofed me? ? And I was just like, oh, no. Because I'm not that close to her. So I've only texted her like a handful of times. So now when someone goes, you goofed me, she goes, oh, what does that mean? I did what to you? I'm like, oh no. And then I was like, how do I reply to you goofed me? You made me look like a silly person. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like,
instantly just
I
so
need to
cringeworthy.
I need to get a new job. And I was like, okay, so now in the future, if you're texting your close friends, you can say you goofed me, you can do whatever. People outside of that circle, be better, Tom.
Yeah.
Be a better person.
She goofed you twice there. She really did make you look like a fool.
She double goofed me. She DG'd me, and that's embarrassing. You can't come back to that.
No, it's not a good feeling, that. No.
I should have replied, you double goofed me, you DG'd me. See how she reacted after that.
I think she just would have started avoiding you in corridors. You know, see you walking towards her, she turns around, walks away. That's all right.
I'd have had a meeting with management.
Yeah,
saying,
Tom,
HR. We've had some complaints.
The language that
people that she's DG'd you.
The language that you use in the workplace is inappropriate. Please stop.
Or find a new job, Tom. To work. But so I'm an adult, but
Yes.
I really struggled with that. I don't know what was stuck in my throat. Something was. I was still getting goofed, it seems. So Anya, I'm an adult, but I don't know how to use the correct language around work colleagues.
I get that. Makes sense.
So I got goofed.
You got goofed. It's hard. It's hard to find the line in between.
It's hard not to get goofed.
Because also you spend so much time at work. It's like you want to be like comfortable in that setting. You just want to be yourself, especially after so many years working there. So it's hard to find that line in between.
She should adapt, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing like she's in the wrong.
She should just know what that means. Like, come on,
just be better.
Get with the
figure
program. It's part of your job to understand the lingo in the workplace, and if you don't understand what it means, then get out of here.
I'm going to write an email to management and say, can you make sure in all new starting contracts, in there it's got to be, you've got to understand Tomisms.
Yeah.
And they'll say, Tom, bin off. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Keep climbing that ladder. Maybe one day.
Please accept me for who I am. But Anya, do you have an I'm an adult but for this week?
I do, Tom.
Nice.
I really do. So, I'm an adult but... How do I phrase this? I accidentally showed my... It's going to sound more dramatic than it is, and I'll explain. I accidentally showed my nudes to a Zoom work meeting thing.
What? What?
I know, right? So,
What does that mean?
essentially, I was asked very nicely if I could do
Show some nudes.
No, that wasn't
Okay.
part of the agreement. It was
Okay.
just the sprinkles on top.
Mm.
Anyway, I was asked if I could do this workshop panel thing where I
Yeah.
come and I speak to people in my industry about what I am doing and show them some things that I'm working on. And I was like, sure. And a part of doing that, I was like, okay, to show them what I work on, maybe I'll like do a little screen recording and I like produce this little thing. And I screen recorded it all, and it involved having to go into my photo albums on my phone and selecting an image to use for the piece of work that I was producing as like a tutorial. And I didn't realise until I was showing them the video that I put together through screen recording my phone that I had taken before and after photos of my workout progression, because for me, I rather take photos than step on scales and track my progress that way. I just prefer it. But it means photos of me standing in my underwear.
Okay.
And I didn't realise that on the screen recording, I went past those photos on my phone to get the image that I wanted for the piece of work that I was putting together for the tutorial that I then presented to them on Zoom.
So they saw it.
They saw it, and I was just like...
Nothing to be ashamed of, Anya. It could have been worse.
It could have been worse. So they weren't like full out nudes, but they're still kind of
No.
like, okay, I didn't really want strangers to see me in my underwear, but here we are.
That's understandable. I get that.
Yeah, I'm an adult, but I show my nudes to Zoom panel work things. It's great.
Oh no! So how was your reaction when you were watching the video back? And like, oh,
I
that's
mean,
me.
white as a ghost, heart, fell out, tongue-tied, but I kind of just I didn't even bring it up. I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. So I think
You
that
just
brought
paused it and went, how good do I look now that
Look.
this is working out?
just a subtle flex.
Come on, guys, look at me.
Before and after.
Stunning. I
I
don't know what I'd have done. I'd have probably made a joke of it.
No.
Because of who I am, I think I would have addressed it.
Yeah. I just didn't know what to do. I was just my reaction was just to ignore it and just to keep calm and carry on, as they say. So.
But now you're never asked to mentor again.
Yeah, now they're
Out of
like,
fear.
oh, Jesus, she is inappropriate. So you have inappropriate language, I have inappropriate images.
Yours is a lot worse. Yeah, yours is a lot worse.
Yeah, I think...
Forcing people to see you in your underwear is a lot worse than me saying you goofed me.
It's true, but I don't feel too bad because in Canada this week...
You're happy with your progress.
I'm happy with my progress, and in Canada this week there was a Canadian MP that started a Zoom meeting stark as like
How
he
does
was
that happen?
absolutely naked. I don't know, there wasn't like any context behind the story, which I think makes it worse because then like that just makes your imagination run wild. It's like if I come on here and literally just left it with, I showed my nudes on a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
There's no context there. Like you could, what was she doing? But with the context, it kind of exactly with the context there, it kind of makes sense. You're like, oh, okay, I can see that happening. It's not her fault. But yeah, with this Canadian MP, there's no context behind why he was naked on a Zoom call.
No.
But it's fascinating. I love stories like this.
So do I. I'm a big fan of these scandal pictures.
It's not when it
Pictures,
happens to
videos,
me.
type things. Well, no. That's why I don't keep nudes on my phone. I don't have nudes, Anya. For this exact reason.
I don't usually either, Tom. I don't see the point in them until that happens. Especially now that
And then there's
happens.
loads of points to have them. Then you can show everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we move on.
It could have been worse.
It could have been
and
worse.
It's almost flattering that you showed your progression.
Yeah, love that. Love that for me.
Inspiration for the next time you do one of these videos. And they'll be like, oh, it's the girl from the first time. And she's looking
Yeah.
even better now.
Look at those
See?
abs underneath all of those rolls.
So defined. Well, and the gyms haven't been open. You've still been doing exercise, so I commend you for that.
Thank you. But they are
You're
open
welcome.
now
They are open
because
now. Have you-
the world, well, the UK anyway, or just England. The UK is
Just
kind of like
England.
split off into different
I don't know. Scotland's opened up now.
Yeah, I think we're slowly opening up. But England has made headway, guys. If you're not in England, we've started reopening from our lockdown. Woo! And it's that didn't really depict the feelings I actually feel.
I think you brought that energy. You know,
that
the energy
sounded like a dying goat. We've started reopening our non-essential retail, basically shops, restaurants, pubs, bars, but you have to sit outside, hairdressers, gyms, beauty salons, a lot of other things have started opening up.
Golf courses.
Oh yes, swimming pools.
Swimming pools.
It's just outside of swimming pools.
Outdoor swimming pools.
Yeah, everything's been reopening, and it feels really exciting to finally be in this position, especially as we said at the start of this episode, it's spring now in the UK, so we actually get to enjoy the nice weather. Spring has sprung. Whilst this time last year, we just entered a strict lockdown. So it feels nice that we can finally enjoy some weather outside and with people again. But I also feel like along with the sense of excitement and fun that comes with reopening things, I can't help but also feel subtle dread inside of me.
I don't know about wave 4.
That, but also just the anxiety of starting life like it used to be again. I feel like I'm out of practice.
This has become a big trend now that people have almost got lock-in syndrome.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really been talking to anyone. If you're working from home, you're sending emails and possibly Zoom meetings. And if you live alone at home, you're not talking to anyone in your house. You might be having a phone call, but you haven't seen anyone really face-to-face for the past 7 months. And so people have generally forgotten social cues and how to read people's facial expressions, how to read people's face. I don't know what I was going to say there. But people are really struggling to acclimatise to this new reopening. And I've been blessed that the whole way through that I've been allowed to go to work. I've been talking to my work colleagues. I live at home. That's a subtle brag. I live at home, so I see my mum and dad every day, so I talk to them. So I still have people that I talk to on a daily basis. But if I didn't have that, I wonder how I would be when I would go to the pub today or yesterday or whenever.
Yeah.
How I would have been to actually approach people.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same. I feel like
a plastic bag.
Yes.
Floating in the wind.
Shout out to Katy Perry. I just feel really out of practice, really slow with things. My brain has melted a little bit, or it just isn't that part of my brain. It's like when you haven't worked out for ages and then you try and do a marathon. My brain is just not in practice. I haven't exercised that part of my brain in a year, so I just feel slow, sloggy, not with it. Sloggy.
Nice.
Sloggy brain. Yeah, it's difficult. Are you...
Greenius and sloggy over there.
Do you have anxiety about going out and meeting up with people? What are your thoughts on it?
So, I have gone out to the pubs now, because my work allows me to do so, because I don't work silly hours like you do. But I have gone to the pubs now, and I'm more relaxed with it than I thought I would be. In the back of my mind, because I've been conditioned now for the past year to be people are too close, or should I be here? Should I be here with 6 people? Am I uncomfortable? And it's not really an uncomfortable thing for me, but in the back of my mind, it's always going, you being here with 5 other people means that someone else is there with 5 other people, and then it's just going to spread again.
That's exactly how I feel. It's you're almost conditioned to think oh my god, I've met up with so many people today, whilst usually I'd only be meeting up with one other person. This is wrong. It feels innately wrong to be doing this now.
Yeah. And that is so bizarre, because other people don't even have a second thought about it. They're just yeah, let's get the buds in. And I'm there going, I don't know if I need to be here. I don't know if I should be ordering food because all the rules have changed so often. And we've come out of lockdown, back into lockdown. Rules have changed again. Rules have changed again. I don't know which rules we were trying to abide by, but I'm sat there going, okay, this is fine. And then the added clause is you're only there for an hour. Like normally you can only book for like an hour, 2 hours or less. So you're sat there going, this is really nice. But in the back of your mind you go, got 40 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it's
And
like you're
that-
under a timer.
Having that pressure on the back of your head going, all right, I've got to have fun, but in a restricted time period. How many drinks do I get in? Will I be able to drink that many drinks? I haven't drunk really properly for the past year. What am I doing? Am I drunk? Yes. God. Bad. Can I find a place that I can walk into? Yeah. It's weird. If you don't have a full plan, you can't now just go bar hopping if you haven't booked bar hopping places.
It's kind of like the death of spontaneity, isn't it? Like, it's like controlled fun, organised fun, which is organised fun really fun? I mean,
no, it's not.
I know that before all of this happened, that you did have days where, I don't know, someone organised a bar crawl and books a table at each bar, or, you know, you book a festival and you plan it like literally to an inch of its life because you're excited for it and you want to be able to like do things whilst you're at the festival. So you book, I don't know, spaces at a yoga tent or a space at an oxygen bar sort of thing. I know, some weird festivals. Anyway, so you can have organised fun, but it just kind of feels really restricted and regimented, almost like, I know you don't watch Friends, but like Monica Geller off of Friends sort of fun, you know what I mean? Like everything has to happen in a certain order, and everything's booked properly, and it just, like, does that suck the fun out of it? And then also
It
in the
does.
back of your mind, you just have, or I have, and I feel like you've just mentioned that you have, anxiety around things like, should I really be sitting with this many people? It kind of feels like we've gone from black to white, you know? Like, there hasn't really, it doesn't feel to me like there's been that much of a transition. I think people will disagree in some capacity because we aren't like going straight back into normality. Like, we're only allowed to meet up in groups of 6, and we have to be outside if we want to be like leisurely eating and drinking. If we're inside, then we have to wear a mask still. So I guess there is that transitioning it, but it almost doesn't feel enough. Like, it does just feel like we've jumped in at the deep end again, and I can't help but feel anxious about that.
What got me was, so this week all the pubs are booked. Everyone just rammed out because, oh, it's been a really hard year. We need to go to the pub. We need to see my 5 pals. But I thought pubs and clubs aren't open, but pubs and bars, they would have like X amount of people that'd be allowed to sit outside. Like full table, empty table, full table, empty table.
Right,
but that's just not the case.
Is it not?
It's
I haven't
if
been to the
there's-
pub yet.
Well, it's if there's a table outside, there's going to be people on it. So because of that, you are shoulder to shoulder with someone.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like, what's the point of having my rule of 6 if I'm also shoulder to shoulder with this group of 6?
Yeah. And
Because
that's...
there isn't like a table divider. Like if you've seen pictures of how the cinemas are going to be open, it's going to be 1 seat, empty 2 seats, 1 seat, empty 2 seats. And I think that's the right approach because of... there's a social distancing that we've been conditioned to learn. Remember social distancing, guys. 2 meters, 1 meter. I can't remember the actual phrasing because they've changed it so many times. But we now have a feeling like I've got to be a meter or 2 away from someone. And when your table's right next to someone else's table, it's like, what is the point of all of this? So yeah, you're shoulder to shoulder with someone, and it just feels like you're part of their group. But something to pick up on what you said earlier about the spontaneity. Spontaneity?
Spontaneity.
I don't know the term, but the point is, I would like to pick up on it.
Go on then.
And my friend broke up with his girlfriend of a long period of time on Monday. Sad times. I'm very sorry for him. He seems to be doing okay, but obviously at the beginning of the week it was a bit rougher. And obviously he doesn't want to go back to the flat because his flat is where him and his girlfriend used to live, and memories and sad and a dark hole. So in your head, normally you'd be like, oh, do you want to go to the pub, kill a few hours there? But because I didn't get a heads up that him and his girlfriend were going to break up on Monday, I couldn't book anywhere in advance. And so because of that, we walked around Soho for a bit. Like, come on, somewhere's got to let us in. But no walk-ins. It's not like a hairdresser where it's some walk-ins. It's no walk-ins. And so I was just like, oh, well, we went for a little walk. I hope you're okay. Head back to that flat you're not happy with. So I like the idea of booking because it means you definitely get a table. But it does really cramp your freedom of spontaneity. I say spontaneity is what I'm backing myself on.
Okay, that's fine. You can back yourself with that, sure. I'm going to say spontaneity.
Say it with your chest and then show it on a Zoom call.
I think it is literally going to take you having to book 2 months in advance to go anywhere that is popular. But there has been a list that has been released of pubs that aren't taking bookings and it's all just walk-ins. But then is it going to be that thing where, you know, when it's like a meet and greet and you have to be the first in a queue or a new shop opens or you want to get, I don't know, something from...
that's exactly what people
and
want.
you're going to have to queue and you're going to have to get there like first thing, and that's just not... Is that the way that we want to live? It's just sad, really.
I want to be outside of a pub at 10 a.m.
Well, I mean, I don't mind it, but it's just kind of like... it's like, yeah, it just makes things so much more difficult, doesn't it?
And of course it does.
I think it's just going to take a long time to wean off of how things are going to continue now for a long time. But saying that, I know that it comes with a lot of anxiety, and also another thing that I've been feeling this week is FOMO. Like, I feel like everyone's been taking screenshots of things that they've booked for the future, like coming up in summer, and like pictures of them at the pub and like getting their hair done and whatnot. And I've had a few things done. So I've had my hair done, I got my nails done, I've had my eyebrows waxed, I feel like a new human. But I still can't help but think, oh my god, I haven't got anything booked for this summer yet. Should I have something booked by now? Should I get on that? And that's just like such a horrible feeling. And seeing everyone out now, I can't help but feeling FOMO off of Instagram again now. And I've not missed that feeling. But I feel like it's heightened now because it's almost like a feeling that you have to catch up with people and you have to, like, I don't know, be that person that goes out all the time and has like plans every weekend. And I don't know if I'm, one, ready to be that person again, and two, it's just not nice seeing it all the time. It's like, I hate it. And I've not missed that on social media at all. But aside from feeling anxious and having the feeling of FOMO, I also am just really happy about it. It's kind of like mixed emotions, like walking down the high street and seeing people sat outside of bars and pubs and people going in and out and getting their hair done. It's just, it's a happy feeling, like seeing everyone come together, like that togetherness.
Oh yeah, it's really nice.
It's so nice.
I really enjoyed it. When I went out on Thursday this week, it was really nice, but I always forget the downside of going out.
Which is?
I spent £85 on drinks.
Yeah.
Got a £25 Uber home. And I ordered takeaway. So all in all, I must have spent about £150, right?
Yeah, it's so true.
And that's all because places are reopening again.
Yeah.
And because of that, I obviously went a bit harder on the first day because Mama didn't raise a wuss. And so I had to go harder. But the point is, this past year has been really nice where you've just gone to parks to have a drink, or just not drink, actually. Yeah. I think physically I felt better not drinking. Monetarily I was better not drinking. But yeah, it's all been a very, very crazy time, and I'm happy that place is reopening. Mm-hmm. But Friday I felt very ropey, and my bank account took a beating. Oh. So I haven't missed going out. But so I finish at 10 most days, so seeing your friends on Instagram whilst you're still at work, it's like, I could be there. Yeah. I could be having one of those pints, but instead you're just at work going...
I know, and you have to stay in a group of 6, so it's like, you can only...
makes the cut.
Exactly. But also, going back to spending money, did you know that on Monday, so the day that we reopened again in England, £250 a minute was spent at pubs and
God.
£300 a minute was spent at hairdressers.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So what you said about spending money and the comparison before of spending money is so true. But I think people are going above and beyond, and I think they will, like, over the next month. It's that feeling of, like, catching up, and because you haven't spent that money in a year, like, the money that you usually would spend on going out hasn't been spent at all, apart from, like, the odd takeaway because you're stuck at home and you need to treat yourself. A lot of takeaways.
But do you think people... Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Do you think people are spending more money on this easing because they go, well, I haven't spent $4,000 in pubs this past year. Let's go really ham this time. Or do you think they've gone, oh, actually, it's been quite nice having savings. Maybe go a bit harder, but then not crazy.
I think the first one, I think people are like, oh yeah, like I'm allowed out now. Haven't spent this money in ages, so I'm going to let myself...
You get a picture. Exactly. All on me. I haven't spent money for a year.
Yeah, but it is going to be hard. Like, again, it's just that transitioning phase where you aren't used to spending that money. You aren't used to seeing those people. You aren't used to going out. So it's like remembering those boundaries and remembering how you should be balancing your money and your friends and socializing. Like, do you go all in or do you hold back? And it's like you just kind of have to work out what works best for you. But we asked you guys over on our Instagram at We Are AudioBox a few questions about all of this, because it's all well and good me and Tom talking about it and giving our side and our feelings and thoughts on it, and you might well agree with us, but you know, there's always going to be that other side of people who are like, actually guys, I feel totally different. So we asked you guys a few would you rather questions, and the first one that I asked was, would you rather, if the ban for wearing masks goes, people should still wear them, or
you said mask goes. I thought you said mask goes. And I was like, what the fuck is mask go?
Or people should stop wearing them altogether. Like, if they lift the law that you don't have to wear a mask, should people stop or should people still continue? And I was really shocked because 67% of you guys said people should still wear them, and 33% said that people should stop wearing them. And
so why are you shocked by that? Which part shocks you?
I just think that it's crazy and sort of amazing that we have changed so much this last year. The idea of wearing a mask pretty much everywhere you go, if you had told any of us 2 years ago, it would have been laughable. Like, it's sort of an unbelievable thing. And the fact that people have cooperated, taken it on, accepted them.
Lots of people haven't.
Lots of people haven't, but lots of people have. There was a statistic that came out that I think it was a study of 10,000 people in the UK that they were asked if this law was lifted, would you still wear a mask in public places? And 1/3 of them said yes. So it's interesting that people are still wanting to wear them. And I think, again, it kind of comes back to what we were talking about before, in the sense that it's great that we're reopening again, but there's a lot of anxious feelings around it. Like, should we be going from black to white, or should we kind of like still be cautious about all of this?
It's crazy because we have been talking as a society for a long time to should we wear masks, but it's mostly because of pollution. Because how much... I live in central London, so my studies are purely come on, Tom, purely in central London based. But because of the pollution that's caused in central London, people have gone, should we be having masks because it gives you can get asthma, you can gain asthma from breathing in all this pollution, and your lungs will deteriorate and blah 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 blah. So for a long time, people have said, should we be wearing filtering masks to filter out the pollution and the bad chemicals in the air? And it's always been something that people go, it wouldn't take off, or if you feel so worried about it, you can do it yourself, but we're not going to make it a law, blah blah blah. But it's weird that as soon as Rona happened, they're like, yeah, it's airborne, wear a mask, keep everyone safe.
But that's because you've got death on your front door, not just asthma on your front door. I think people are like, I can deal with a health condition that's not going to kill me, but people can't deal with the idea of a health condition that's going to kill them potentially, and also spread to, because asthma doesn't spread. It's not, it's not contagious.
So just limits the things you can do. Granted, so does death. More.
And long COVID, and just COVID. We also asked you guys, would you rather things open up more now or stay closed for longer? And 86% of you guys said open up more and 14% said stay closed for longer.
Makes sense.
I think that's the general consensus. I think there's always one person that's like really anxious about it and just isn't ready
and I don't blame that, because it could be things like death in the family.
Exactly.
Paranoia.
That's
the other thing. What's the other thing that people get? Whether hypochondriac. I didn't need your help in the end. Thank you for the help. So, hypochondriac. So it could be a lot of factors, but I don't blame people for not wanting things to open up more.
No, and I think that percentage of people in the UK, and probably more even of a percentage, have been first-handedly affected by coronavirus and probably really disturbed by it. Like, luckily, touch wood, I haven't really felt the full effects of it. I haven't had anyone in the family who's had it really badly, so, or friends-wise either, so it's really hard for me to, I guess, relate to it as like a really serious problem, because it hasn't affected me, and I feel like until it really affects your life personally, it's hard to connect with that side of it. It's kind of like, oh, it's there, but again, I think I said this before, like, you kind of feel invincible against it because it hasn't touched you yet. So, touch wood again. We also asked you guys just a few general questions because I was just interested. Do you have anxiety about things reopening? 57% of you said yes, and 43% of you said no, which is interesting. It's like a full split down the middle, really. And again, the same percentages. Do you have FOMO with things reopening? 57% said yes and 43% said no.
I wish I was part of that 43% who did get FOMO.
Yeah. It's difficult, but I mean, all valid feelings. I think everyone's different. Like, it would be a boring world if we were all the same people. Everyone's going to react to things differently. But I can't help but feel anxious about it and get FOMO. And I don't know, like, are we going too fast into this?
Well, only time will tell.
Only
the R number's gone
time
down,
will tell.
But today we did hit 3 million deaths of coronavirus, so sad news and good news.
Yeah.
And more variants are coming, but hopefully the vaccines are just going to
eradicate.
Take it all out. Eradicate was a lot better than the word I was coming up with. So eradicate that. But yeah, welcome to season 7. That's a segue, Tom. You're getting good at this. Welcome to season 7. We hope you're staying okay. Hope you didn't miss us too much over the break. You can always listen back to our last series and episodes. They're very good. Let me tell you. Only got better since season 1. Season 2, there was less Anya, so ours probably the peak. But do listen back to our last episodes. Thank you very much for rocking with us and joining us again for another great episode of What I Want to Tell You Before You Adult. Anya, thank you for joining me and helping me figure out words that I wanted to say but couldn't actually fathom to get it all together. See, that would right there would have been a good time for you to have jumped in. Didn't.
Sorry, do you want me to jump in now? I'll jump in. If you guys want to let us know what your thoughts and feelings are about the reopening, then let us know, because we'd love to hear them. How have the past few weeks been of things being open? Let us know, what have you been up to? And with that, Tom, I'm off to the pub. You're off for drinks, I think, as well, outside.
Sure am.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to test this out. We're going to test it out, see how we feel about it. And it's all going to be great times, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully everyone has silly goose times. And everyone gets goofed.
But don't share your notes.
Thank you very much, Gene Squad, for listening to another great episode. Do follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Both handles are the same. We are AudioBox. Come say hi. Give us some likes. Talk to us. Tell us how you are. What's the next bit that I say?
We'll be back next week.
It's been a long day. We'll be back next week for another great episode. Do join us then.
Bye, kids.
Bye-bye.